Gardner has really given us many different ways to show intelligence, and as a result, it gives us a better sense of the genius in every child. That genius, of course, is going to show up very differently from one child to the next. One child's going to show one particular combination of intelligences. Maybe this will be a child who's a bug kid, who knows everything there is to know about bugs. Well, that's the way he shows or she shows the genius. Another child may show the genius through the wonderful stories that they tell. Another child through the incredible Lego structures that are created. And a further child by the sense that they have of empathy for another child's pain. When we look at these 8 intelligences, really we can see far more than 8 ways of being gifted. There are probably thousands, maybe even tens of thousands of ways of being gifted.
But until we respect the fact that every individual is gifted, it may not happen. So we have to make a shift, a paradigm shift in education for what we believe. Not everyone is just linguistic and logical, mathematical. Everyone has different gifts. And when we accept that, it's so powerful.
Multiple intelligences has shown the strengths that each child has, and that each child truly believes, as we do, that every child is gifted. Every child can learn, and there are wonderful things to offer from each child. And as a matter of fact, just for an example, in a classroom, when I'd walked in and they were doing a project together, one of the students had gotten to the point where they realized their project needed a chart of some kind, had to be drawn, so they turned around to go get John at another side of the room because he's very spatial and he could do the chart for them to complete their project. So they realized the strengths in each child.
With this kind of model in hand, we get a chance to look at each child in a unique way rather than being constrained by the artificial barriers of IQ testing and other traditional testing measures. Because this is an approach to intelligence that allows us to see what actually kids are doing. And the assessment approaches that should be used to discover that genius should likewise be in context.
We have used a lot of alternative assessments along with the standardized norm tests. And with alternative assessments, we have used different forms of portfolios, rubrics, video assessment of students' projects and what they've done, and in not necessarily the conventional ways, but things that children have produced to show how best they've learned the topic that we're talking about in each subject. And so those kinds of things are also done along with the norm testing to show the results of what multiple intelligence can do for students.
We should see kids involved in practical things. So if we want to assess, for example, their spatial intelligence, we shouldn't sit them down at a spatial assessment with paper and pencil. We should actually give them some art materials and see what they can create. Or give them some Lego blocks and see what they can create that will show their spatial aptitude. To look at their bodily kinesthetic intelligence, you don't want to sit them down and have them, mark, yes, I'm a good athlete, or no, I'm a good athlete. You want to see them out on the athletic field. You want to see how they show their flexibility, their strength, their endurance, their creativity in their movement, and so forth. Or you want to see them making things, building things. And of course, then we want to document these in different ways by getting photos and videotapes and audio tapes and other kinds of documents that we can show to people who have doubts about this child's genius.
The implications of Gardner's theory are many, and what we often see are just the instructional strategies, teaching in different ways. But actually multiple intelligences can mean a lot more than that for the elementary or secondary class or university level classroom. It certainly has implications for how we develop curriculum, and I think in the classrooms and programs that I've seen that use multiple intelligences, there's been a move towards more thematic, integrated kinds of curriculum, arts-based programs, apprenticeships, more parent and community involvement, and so on. A third implication is assessment, and there are important implications for assessment. As we see happening around the country now, we need to move away from completely paper and pencil kinds of assessment and start using multimodal forms of assessment, and that's where the multiple intelligences comes in. Exhibitions of different kinds, demonstrations, models, portfolios, different kinds of visuals, interactive experiences, technology, and so on. All of that can be part of assessment as well as instruction and curriculum. And then I think there are also implications for the role of the teacher. That certainly changes in a multiple intelligences program.
The most important thing that a teacher can do in implementing the theory of multiple intelligences in the classroom is to teach the students about the theory. One of the neat things about this theory is how easy it is to teach. You can go into a second grade classroom and in a matter of 8 minutes you can teach a group of kids the theory of multiple intelligences and give them the vocabulary that they can then use to describe how they learn. Now, in my own thinking, I've changed some of Dr. Gardner's terms and made them a little bit more direct. So I use a little pizza model to introduce it to students so that instead of linguistic intelligence, I talk about word smart. Instead of spatial intelligence, picture smart. And I talk about people smart, music smart, body smart, cell smart. These are simple terms that just about every kid understands because they've had regular experience with them in their daily life. They'll generate their own notions of the theory of multiple intelligences because they know it inside. What we're doing is we're just giving them words, we're giving them vocabulary so that they can now think about, well, I'm having difficulty learning through words. Maybe if I learn through pictures, I'll have a little bit of easier time. Or, gee, I'm having trouble learning this through self-smart all by myself. I need people smart. I better get together with another person or get a group together so that I can process, so I can think through this in a better way. When we do that for a child, we're giving them self-advocacy skills that are going to last them a lifetime.
This is a wonderful multiple intelligence school at Green Tree East, and I'd like to know what you think are your strongest intelligences.
Interpersonal.
Interpersonal. Now, what does interpersonal intelligence mean to you?
Getting along with other people.
Okay. Do you have a lot of friends?
Yes.
Do you enjoy being with your friends?
Mm-hmm.
If you're given a choice in a classroom to work alone or work with several people, which would you choose and why?
With several people.
You like to work with several people? Okay, that's great.
So I really encourage each one of the teachers who is serious about implementing the theory of multiple intelligences to figure out some kind of unit or some kind of curriculum structure, but I hope that it would involve follow-up activities.
Now that we've made this book and we've sang this song, we've read it, I want you guys to tell me what multiple intelligences we're using to learn this song.
It's logical mathematical.
Okay, why is it logical mathematical?
Because we're putting it all in order.
Okay, very good.
We're using language for reading.
Language for reading. What's it called besides language?
Reading.
Okay, someone help him here?
Linguistic.
Linguistic, very good. Okay, Vicki, do you have one?
It's spatial because we had to color it and because we looked at the words.
Okay, what did you color?
We colored people.
Okay, you colored people. What are the pictures about?
The sentences.
The sentences that are in the book?
Yeah.
So this sentence relates to this picture? Okay, good.
It's musical because we sang it and we read it.
Okay, we sang it. What's special about singing?
A rhythm.
It has a rhythm. Very good. Okay, what is your favorite part of this exercise, this activity that we did?
And in that way, they begin to think about what's good for them, what's not so good, what's hard, what's easy. And this process is building then their own self-esteem, their own organizational skills, and it's improving their ability to think about how they think, their meta-thinking capabilities, which is a very important process in the whole learning arena.
The chorus?